All right, guys. So today we're going to work on writing your CER statements or claim evidence reasoning statements about McDonald's in India. Okay, so I'm going to be kind of jumping back and forth between this slide that you see right here, this slide deck, and my copy of your McDonald's in India reading. Okay, so you're going to be using your McDonald's in India reading, and you're going to be doing your writing at the end here where you have this CER stuff. Yours isn't going to be filled in like mine, but this is the page that you're going to be using. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at some things that you need to remember. Okay, so we really have two things that you need to keep in your brain. The first one is that we're working with claim evidence reasoning. So your claim is going to be the argument that you're making. It's what you're trying to prove. The evidence is just that. It's evidence that supports your claim, that proves that you're not just making it up. And then your reasoning is the part where you get to really explain how it supports your claim. So what that evidence actually has to do with your claim, where you explain that to your reader. So our question that we're answering here with our claim evidence reasoning statements is, how is McDonald's in India an example of cultural diffusion? And just in case you need a little reminder, cultural diffusion is the spread of cultural practices, ideas, and beliefs from one person or group to another, or from one culture to another. So we've been talking about that in terms of McDonald's, where you have this kind of American culture that's been spread throughout the world. And like this, that's been spread throughout the world and has changed and adapted to each of those locations that it's moved to. Okay, here we go. We're getting into it. Okay, so for our first claim evidence reasoning, I am just kind of giving it to you. I want to give you an example of what this might look like. So you're going to copy this down in your McDonald's packet at the first box where it says putting it all together. This first one right here, this is where you're going to copy down that claim evidence reasoning. So what is our claim? McDonald's in India is an example of cultural diffusion because it spread from the United States, but changed to respect Indian culture. And the evidence that we're looking for to prove that, I found in my reading. So I went back and I looked at my reading, and we're going to kind of follow the reading as it goes. So my first piece of evidence I pulled from here, which is the role of religion section. And I talked about how beef burgers were not a thing in India because of the religious aspect. So that is the evidence. I just found a sentence. Let me see if I can find it again here in our reading. I think this is my sentence. So I found a sentence in the text right there, and I copied it down word for word. When we're looking for evidence, if there is text that we can quote from, we want to actually quote from the text. So I'm going to find a sentence that helps prove my claim, and I'm going to copy it down word for word. But I need to make sure that I am saying that this is a quote. So each of your boxes starts with the case study states. So you're going to take this sentence right here, and you're going to copy it down in your evidence. The case study states. And you are copying it down word for word from the text, which I already did for you. Okay, and now we get to the really, really important part. We've made our claim. We said this is what we think is true. We've provided evidence from the text, but now we have to explain how does that evidence really support that claim. And you want to explain it really, really carefully to your reader. You want to pretend that they have no idea what you're talking about and explain it to them like they are your little brother or sister, making sure they understand you. So your reasoning sentence is always going to be in your own words. So I took my evidence and I'm like, okay, how can I help my reader understand that this proves my claim? So I said the two main religions in India, Hinduism and Islam, both have rules about what meat can be eaten. McDonald's dropped the American menu items for vegetarian versions and other kinds of meat to fit those rules. So I'm really trying to explain what is the big deal with this sentence from the text. How does this prove my claim? All right, take a minute, copy that down. I'll jump right back to it, but copy it down in your first box as your reasoning sentence. Okay, we're going to pause right here for a second. Okay, your turn to give it a try. So you're going to be a little bit more involved in this one than just copying it down. Our claim is the exact same claim. That McDonald's in India is an example of cultural diffusion because it spread from the United States, but changed to respect Indian culture. And just like for the last one, I found a sentence in my text that I thought best explained or best proved that this claim was true. So let's see if I can find those sentences again in my reading. Okay. So this time I'm talking about traditional flavors. So I think I grabbed this one. Let's see, I think that's my first one. Oh, I used both sentences. Okay, so I expanded a little bit because I thought they really needed both. Okay. All right, then what is my next one? Okay, that was my second one. And there are, part of the reason I want you to see that you can use any of these is that there are lots of sentences that you can use. You're just trying to find which one you think best supports your claim the best or the most. Okay, and then last one was about masala. Okay, I think it was this last one. So you can see for each of these, I picked a sentence from the text that I thought best proved that McDonald's in India was an example of cultural diffusion. And I picked which sentences I thought proved that the best. And you can use any of them. So I want you to take a minute and think about which one do you think does the best job proving that. Okay. So in your reading, in your packet, you're going to go down to the end and you're going to put in that as your evidence number 2. Okay, so you're going to copy that down right here, evidence number 2, whichever sentence you chose. Okay, copy that sentence down in the box. All right, now we get to the good part. So I tried to help you out as much as I could for this, but your reasoning is going to be different based on which evidence you chose. So I gave you some sentence starters that I thought might kind of get you going in the right direction. So look back at your evidence, and you're trying to explain to your reader, how does that evidence prove that McDonald's in India is an example of cultural diffusion? And you're going to... You can choose one of these as your sentence starter. You can come up with your own sentence starter if you want, but your job is to explain how does your evidence support that claim. And you're going to write that down in the reasoning box, number 2. Okay, let me put it back on your sentence starters. Make the decision on what you want to do, and then come back here. All right, now we're getting into the good stuff. Okay, now I want you to do this one all you. So, you're going to look at the economic concerns section of your reading. So if I scroll back up, you're looking for a sentence in here. A sentence that you think best describes how McDonald's in India is an example of cultural diffusion. So choose which sentence you think is best, and you're going to quote it, meaning that you're going to copy it word for word and put it in quotation marks. When you're quoting something like that, you want to introduce the source that you're getting it from. So you've got in your claim evidence reasoning down here, I gave you your sentence starter, and you're going to copy that sentence down right here. So take a look at your packet and copy that sentence down. All right, and we go to our reasoning. Okay, so this is it. And if you're feeling a little stuck, go back and you can really use any of these sentence starters as your sentence starter there too. So if you want to use a sentence starter, pull back this one, pause it right here, and use one of these as your sentence starter for your reasoning. Explain how that piece of evidence proves your claim. All right, fill in that last box. I'll put it back over here in a second, but fill in that last box so you now have 3 claim evidence reasoning. Okay, there's your sentence starters if you need them. All right, guys, you did it. Woohoo! And I gotta tell you, now that you're all done, you could, I won't make you, so don't freak out, but you could really easily turn this into an essay, into a 3+ paragraph essay. These are really make up the body of your paragraphs or body of your essay, and you're pretty much done. You've done it. So awesome job. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And let me know how that felt for you. Let me know how it went. All right. Bye, guys.